So here's the question. Here's the reality of life. Someone says something so convincingly, you believe on it. Katt has the ability that when he talks, it makes it sound like he's telling the truth. What is an industry plant? Like, what is that? Like when I first heard it, I hear you say it. What is an industry plant? No one plants someone in the business, right? And gives them hundreds of millions of dollars to be a plant. See, comics, again, actors will say a plant, you got to go into some alleyway to give sexual favors to make it in this business. And Kevin worked hard. He was at the right place at the right time. I know his team, he got a couple real guys on his team that came up in the streets with me. I don't have to say no names, but a couple of his people came from the streets with me out of Long Beach, and they really about that thing. And they all on his team. They changed their lives around. They all doing well. The industry plant. This is just hard work. The guys behind him are mentally and street smart, and they know how to do it, and they're doing it. So to the world, there's no such thing as no industry plant. There's no secret society. There's no person on this planet that got offered $50 million 4 times and turned it down because they felt like they're gonna have to get favors in a back room. Do you know what you got to do to get $50 million a movie? $50 million now. Tom Cruise ain't even getting $50 million a movie. The only person that had that opportunity as a stand-up comedian was Eddie Murphy, Chris Tucker. Because when Chris Tucker started doing Jackie Chan, he was getting $30 million a movie. Why was he getting $30 million a movie? Because he was a box office drawer. What does that calculate, ladies and gentlemen? That means your movies was bringing in big money. For someone to give you $30 million, you was killing it at the box office with a track record of movies. You had movies one after the other that was a hit after hit after hit. And the movie industry felt that you were so good, they gave you this kind of money. Katt doesn't have that track record.
How you feel about Kevin Hart as a comedian?
Here's my honest opinion. Years ago, I had said something on the Breakfast Club. I said, Kevin Hart is not that funny. I said, Kevin Hart is a nice guy. And the way they edited it made it seem like I was truly saying Kevin Hart wasn't funny. Kevin Hart is very funny. It's just that some of the things I had saw back in the day wasn't his whole set. So one night, I remember after saying this on the Breakfast Club, I'm actually watching TV, and Kevin Hart's special comes. I think it was on MTV or Showtime. And he had me rolling, dog. He really did. I'll be the first to say it on your show. Kevin Hart had me roll. Because sometimes you could watch certain things. You can watch a certain, maybe 3-4 minutes, and people assume, he's not funny. But sometimes you got to watch a comic. And I really don't watch comedians. So Kevin Hart, I watched that whole show. 4 comedy specials I watched in my career. Delirious with Eddie Murphy. Raw from Eddie Murphy. Bigger and Blacker with Chris Rock, which I think is one of the greatest stand-up comedy specials because I knew Chris Rock for years and I thought he was semi-funny. And when I saw him do that show at the Apollo, he was on a whole nother level to the point I thought he was on drugs because his eyes was wide, he was hyped, and he was just on a whole nother level. And that show that I saw Kevin Hart, and I will honestly say Kevin Hart was funny. But what comedians, and I want them to know, the longer you stay in this business as a comedian, the better you become. Comedy is based on your experiences in life. And the older you become, the better you will be. This is a fact. I was funny back in the day, but I'm much funnier and have more wisdom now than I ever had years ago. And I've been doing this 40 years.